Article 3 Foundation founder Mike Davis tells One America's Daniel Baldwin that this indictment will help make the 45th president become the 47th president.
U.S. District Court Judge Tanya Shutkin, that will be the presiding judge over the January 6th related indictment here in our nation's capital. Mike Davis, founder and president of the Article 3 Foundation. Sir, obviously this indictment is a little bit different from the other ones when it comes to President Trump. It being in D.C., this is a very tough Obama-appointed judge. Can you kind of explain to our audience the road that President Trump faces in regards to venue and this judge and the D.C. jury pool?
Jack Smith's latest indictment in D.C. is just another bogus indictment for another non-crime, this time for the non-crime of objecting to a presidential election, which is allowed by the Electoral Count Act of 1887. It's also allowed under the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. It's only illegal to object to elections in third world Marxist hellholes. Otherwise, Democrats would be in prison for objecting to Republican presidential wins in 1968, 2000, 2004, and 2016. But that's not going to stop Garland Special Counsel Jack Smith, this political hitman sent in by Biden and Garland to take out President Trump before the November 24 presidential election, because they fear they can't beat Trump politically. So they're simply going to run lawfare against him. And with this D.C. Obama judge and this D.C. jury pool that's like 95% Democrat and 99% Trump deranged, there is zero chance that President Trump will get a fair trial. They will almost certainly find him guilty. This judge will convict him. The D.C. Circuit, which is Obama stacked, will affirm the conviction, and this will have to be overturned by the Supreme Court several years from now. And Jack Smith is used to getting overturned by the Supreme Court. He was overturned unanimously by the Supreme Court when Jack Smith brought bogus corruption charges against former Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell, a likely 2016 presidential candidate.
That was exactly going to be my next question, Mike. You cite the Bob McDonnell case. It was so wildly overbroad. It was an overbroad view of the federal statutes that it was an 8-0 Supreme Court overturning. Do you believe that's why Merrick Garland, Biden's appointed Attorney General, picked Jack Smith, plucked him out of Kosovo, obviously working at The Hague? He could have had any prosecutor in the entire country, but he picked this specific person. Is that the reason why to run the Bob McDonnell playbook on President Trump?
That is absolutely the play they are going to run here. Jack Smith is a political hitman. He is a Scud missile. He is reliable for the Democrats. He will do his duty, which is to serve as a Democrat operative to take out Republican presidential candidates like he did with Bob McDonnell. Try to do this time with President Trump. The good news is that we're on to Jack Smith's game, and so it's not going to work this time. And what's going to happen is we're starting to see this in the polling. Alvin Bragg's indictment of Trump for the non-crime of a businessman settling a nuisance claim won the nomination for Trump. Jack Smith's first indictment of Trump for the non-crime of a former president having his presidential records in the office of former president, which is allowed by the Presidential Records Act, I think helped President Trump squeak by and win the general election. This latest indictment by Jack Smith for the non-crime of objecting to a presidential election, I think, is going to really anger the American people, because they understand that it's not going to be a D.C. prosecutor and a D.C. judge and a D.C. jury who gets to pick the next president of the United States. The American people get to pick the president of the United States. I think the American people correctly see that this is political lawfare by Democrats against President Trump, and it's not going to fly. The American people, I think, are going to put President Trump back in the White House on November 5th, 2024.
Mike Davis, Article 3 Foundation. Sir, we are always grateful for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.